discuss It's Happening Out's hot topic this week. A new report out by Out-vertising in partnership with YouGov reveals the attitudes of LGBTQ plus consumers. The report delves into the perspectives of over 21,000 LGBTQ plus respondents in a sample data set of 370,000 individuals residing in Great Britain. The results are likely very similar to LGBTQ plus thinking in North America as well. Some of the report's key findings say that 30% of LGBTQ plus folks look at the freedom to express their thoughts online as a fundamental right. Talking about brand values, 60% of LGBTQ plus individuals said they believe brands should voice their stance on social and political issues. But the real breaking news came in how we think about our bodies and how we think about our looks. In terms of body image and authentic representation, only 25% of LGBTQ plus individuals felt fairly or very content with their body image. This contrasts to a significantly higher body image confidence from non-LGBTQ plus people. It begs us to ask, how come? This week's hot topic is new study shows 75% of LGBTQ plus people are unhappy with the way their body looks. Is this really news? Did we really just do this story?
That is not news.
Like, I don't think that's news, right? Like, isn't that just a commonality that we're not all happy with our,
Oh, so that makes us the same as everyone.
we're just like straight people.
Wow, interesting. I think it's very easy to want what you don't have, right? And sometimes you eat a McDonald's burger too much, and you end up with love handles. And like, it's easy to say, I don't want that there, and hard to
Get rid of it.
People are on Ozempic. Ozempic is killing this.
Yes, come on, Oprah, on your Ozempic body.
I've been on Ozempic for 5 months and I'm happy as hell.
Really?
Oh,
Okay.
Oprah looks
everybody in my house is on Ozempic. I'm passing
y'all
out to
see her?
everybody.
You get Ozempic. You get Ozempic.
That color purple premiere, Oprah looked good.
Oprah looked amazing.
You know what?
She, that Gail is eating all of her right now.
put-
I'm telling you.
She put that O in Ozempic. Yeah.
I'm sorry, John.
I forgot what I was gonna say. I just feel like, it's hard for people to get motivated to fix things. And when they look in the mirror, no matter how much they fix it, they're still gonna see another person.
I think your point was your point was super valid about saying that you're always thinking that the grass is greener on the other side.
Yes.
It could be with your relationship, with your hair, with your body, with your looks, with everything. You always think it's better for your person next to you, and it's usually not.
No.
And I think, is it bad to be conceited then? If most of us are like walking around hating our body, do we frown upon the person that's like, I'm the shit, and what?
Oh, they do?
So that's me, right? So I am actually in the 25% that I'm content with my body,
Okay.
right? It doesn't mean that I don't have insecurities. It doesn't mean that I don't want to try to build something up or whatever. But I do not look in the mirror and say like, oh God, I hate it, whatever, And that was it was one of the biggest issues for me getting into the gay community when I was probably 27, 28 years old. I started going out. I started having body issues that I never had before because I was
By osmosis, it's
Yes,
on you.
and I've always maintained that in particularly the gay male community, I'm not going to speak on women because you guys have your own kind of
course.
environment. But going,
You're what?
Nothing. So I'm going to a club, right? And I'm seeing everybody who's actually in decent shape. Like, they look more in shape than the majority of people in America. They look like healthy. They look great, And I've never seen so many people so miserable about their body and like shaming themselves and being depressed over this and eating disorders and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm asking them like, why? You guys look great. Like, why are you so obsessed with this? And it's just constantly on the mind and on the brain. And I do think it has to do with the hypersexualization of the gay male community, which I've always had an issue with, and I can only be in it for so long, and I have to get out of it, or else as soon as I start feeling those same things and I start looking at my body and I'm like, oh my gosh, you're fat and disgusting, whatever, I'm like, I have spent too much time in the gay
Okay, but
clubs.
again, you say the gay clubs like that. It really depends on what kind of group you surround yourself with. You know what I mean? Because
course
again,
I'm being
there are certain boys that I know are like that. I have boyfriends that come to me and go, gained the pound. Like, they will come up to me like, oh wow, and I know that they're very superficial and this is how they are.
Of
okay?
course. I'm just
Well, you
general.
also-
I am generalizing.
You are generalizing.
Right.
big
But
time.
we have to generalize in order to make a point
But
about
there's a
certain
pressure,
things.
but there's a huge
But there
pressure
is
for the
more.
boys. I think,
Yes.
you know, I'm not saying that the girls don't have the pressure also, but for women, for the most part, they find their mate and then they become two almond M&Ms on top of their couch watching Netflix and
Sure.
they're happy as shit.
Yes, honey,
Okay,
peanut butter.
and go lesbians for it. All right, I
but-
love you
but
for it, not my
there's like a
cheeks.
weird-
But for gay boys, it's different.
But there's a weird obstacle, right? Like, and I don't mean to put my fiance out there. Like, hopefully, he's gonna give out.
you put them out there every
But-
week, and we appreciate it.
But I only say it because, like, I learn a lot from just observing him. Like, we're in, like, you know, we gain. We're bodybuilders, but we're also gainers. We're also bears. And he has a problem with society because he wants to be the guy in the magazine. He wants to have the abs. He wants to be the bodybuilder. But he gets so much attention as a big boy. He's like, work, I'm going to be a big boy. I'm going to eat more. And I'm like, bitch, you just told me you wanted to be thinner. Why the fuck? He's like, I'm getting attention. Then he goes out into the club and it's like problematic because it's like, I want to take my shirt off. But I'm like, bitch, you ate that burger because you said you were getting attention because you were a big boy. Now what are we fucking with?
Yeah.
So it's a weird, like, issue, but also societal influence that is triggering
Was
people.
he like that back home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's just
But
all around.
it's
All
a
right.
self-actualization moment, I think, because when you realize who you are and how wonderful you are, I think those people are the people who get laid the most. When you walk into a club and own that shit,
Swag.
because
When you got
and
swag, you get
got
laid.
that regardless, and so I
Hell
think,
yeah.
Hell
and
yeah.
So I think all that plays a part.
Let me say this real quick.
Because if
Hold
you
on,
got,
let him finish.
because
that
I know
BDE.
I was those people who didn't like, but the moment I realized who I was and how wonderful I was, the mirror is wonderful to me.
Yeah.
I can push it around, but you can't tell me I'm no better than this person or that person that way, because I can put it down,
Yeah.
mind, body, and
Confidence.
soul.
Confidence is sexy as shit.
It's always,
so sexy.
and that's what you give up.
Auntie?
But the thing is, it's like, and I believe what you're saying, right? Because I know how you are, and I know how you feel about yourself. The problem is that we now look for mates like a catalog service, and that's the problem here, right? It was so funny when I was reading this earlier. I remember the very first time I ever heard the expression "gay fat," right? I remember this was before apps. I was in my 20s. And somebody said the word gay fat, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And like, oh, it's like if straight people think you're fit, but if you go out into a gay bar, they think you're fat.
Yeah.
My mind exploded. I was like, whoa, right? Because that is the level of ridiculousness that we have held our standard to, even though big boys, any kind of boy, you can still get it.
Yep.
Right? You can still get it,
Yep.
but in your head, because of, and Hotspots magazine does not always help with that, other with their covers, right?
And most magazines
Right.
don't.
Right.
Let's
Like,
say
yo,
most magazines
most of
don't.
these queer magazines are not great with this, right? Let's just put it out there. Like,
You said it twice. Auntie Mame, I'm a girl and we have freaking magazines our whole
oh no, y'all
Okay,
too.
so,
That's what I'm saying though.
Magazines and period.
But the thing is that like magazines, period, all of it,
Yeah.
it is teaching us a certain way. But the problem is that there is a reinforcement in a lot of queer spaces, right? There is a reinforcement
Yeah,
because
but hold on. But
Yeah.
if the hottest man in the room came up to you,
All right.
wanted to have sex with you, and said, "You're beautiful," do you ever feel it?
I've had that
feel
happen
what?
to me before.
You're beautiful.
Oh, do you ever feel
There are
beautiful?
people.
Okay.
When I had, let
In my
me
life.
be very clear. One of my boyfriends was a former Marine, a bodybuilder, the whole beautiful man.
Yes.
Right? The entire time I was like, I don't understand. I was questioning
Right.
so many times because I didn't look like him.
Yeah.
Right? That was like back when I was like in my 20s, I was like Twinkie. I was like, I don't understand. Right? Because
Right.
the industry, which at that point is really was cranking up, right? The gay imagery really started getting crazy.
Yeah.
It was teaching me that because I wasn't 6'2", because I wasn't white, because I wasn't a certain kind of way,
Sure.
why are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Right?
Right.
And that's the thing. It's like it is a multi-pronged assault on our senses.
Yeah, but what matters more to you and to people? Because like when I tell my fiance, I'm like, yo, this gorgeous fucking goddess of a man was just hitting on you. Why are you pressed? This dude, the hottest guy in the room, wants to fuck you. What are you so mad about?
He doesn't
Like,
believe him.
No, he's like,
The guy
no, for
came up
sure.
to him and asked him.
No, like verbatim was like, I want to fuck you, you're gorgeous. And he was like, yeah, work. But I'm like, okay, let's go home now. And we go home.
Let's
Hold
get
on.
the-
Yeah, we go home. And I'm like, are you going to pocket that? Are you going to like file that in the back of your shit?
No.
Because
No.
because society shouldn't tell you shit, but if you're getting a compliment from the hottest guy in the room, it tells you that there's something that you have that's still beautiful. That doesn't mean you have to go fix it. No,
Yeah.
you're beautiful the way you are.
Listen, unfortunately, your boo has some insecurities, and that's
No,
the
I'm
bottom
saying
line,
in general,
you know
this
what I
is
mean?
this
And-
is across.
There's a lot of people.
And it's across
Yeah.
across, and again, what kind of pressure, to hold somebody up to that? He has a mate, and he's still like,
He has a handsome mate.
he has a hot,
Actual
gorgeous
handsome
man.
person.
But right, and that's the thing that all I care about is like the person I'm with is gonna love me because I'm gonna get fat, bro. I'm gonna get fat.
No,
and I'm gonna get.
I mean,
skinny,
now
I'm
that
gonna
you're
get fat.
40, I mean,
Forget
it's over.
that.
It's all downhill now.
Yeah.
It's all downhill. All right, folks.